IGBI-Bataan started, when I first came to Manila, I noticed that there were many pastors in Manila that have no ministry. So I started calling them and I told them, let us refresh our knowledge of the Bible, because many of them are just working. They do not have any ministry. So we said, I am also working and you are working, so let us just band together and refresh our knowledge on the Bible. Now, we will have a meeting every week, and then the requirement is we must have always a teaching ministry. Once a week, that was the requirement. So we did that. So later on, we call that as Metro Manila Training Center. Now, when we have that Metro Manila Training Center, during those days, I was invited to become the director of IGBI Osamis also. But I said, we already have a ministry. Why should I go there? So, I refused the offer. And then your Ate Marie, said, why don't we just start our own Bible school? So I said, that would be a good idea. Probably we will do that. But actually, it started with the Metro Manila Training Center. It started with a few, then it grew because it was not only the pastor, but there were young people who were also encouraged to attend. And in fact, there were some who came from Tarlac. And then so it developed into a Bible school. So that was the beginning. And when we have a meeting with the pastors, when the training was going on, we will just have our own Bible school. So we started looking for a place, actually. So we said, okay, we will have our own Bible school, but it has to be near Metro Manila. So we went to Cavite looking for a place, and also in Bulacan, but we cannot find one. There were many, but it's too expensive and it's very small. Later on, when the number of attendees of the Metro Manila Training Center, and they started also teaching. From one church, it became 2, 3, 4, in fact, up to almost 20 churches, not only in Metro Manila, but also surrounding provinces. And that was the time when we finally decided to have a Bible school. We cannot find one near Metro Manila. So one of the reason why we have it in Bataan, because Dr. Puno, the president of PCO, I was then working at PCO, offered me a lot in Bataan. He told me, Gerson, I bought a property in Bagak, Bataan. It's a nice place. If you're interested, I'll give you 2 hectares out of what I have already bought. So I said, but we do not have money, sir. He said, no, you can pay it on installment. That was the arrangement. Every year, Libni paid for the land. When we have the land already, we decided to donate 3,000 square meters for the Bible school. That was the beginning of that Bible school. When we already had started, there were some comments, even from the leadership of Things Commission, and even some American missionaries said, why do you have that school there? Nobody will go there to attend. That's a very, very far from Manila. And then another missionary said, that Bible school is very hard to promote. If that is in Metro Manila, we can promote it in the US, because during those days, all Bible schools were yet supported by TCM USA. The faculty members, the director, and even the operation was sponsored or paid by TCM USA. But we said, we will try, we will do it by ourselves, by the grace of God. We will try. Then when we had that Bible school, he again said, nobody will go there because that is very far from Metro Manila. But when we had that school and then we have the first graduate, we invited that missionary, and he said, I made another mistake. But that's always the case, no? When you are in the ministry. I have not even considered that as an obstacle, but as a challenge. I was challenged by that. during my first year, I did not also plan to really finish my schooling. But in the second semester of the first year, I noticed that I started to love teaching. Because we were assigned, during weekdays, we were assigned to teach in surrounding churches. I noticed that probably my gift is teaching. So I said, I will just continue. We will see what will happen. So in my second year as Bible school student, I committed to the Lord that I will finish my study. And after my study, I will continue my college education. But I made a promise to the Lord during my second year at Bible school that I will always have a teaching ministry. Whatever I will do, if I will be a pastor, of course I will be teaching. If I will not be a pastor because I will be doing something, I will always have a teaching ministry every week. That's my commitment. But when I graduated, no, I did not think of anything anymore but keep on teaching and pastoring a church. Because that was my commitment. Because I believe that the gift that the Lord has given me is teaching. I didn't even think of any achievement or whatever. My commitment was just, I will always be teaching. That's all. Of course, I'm very happy that what had happened. But then that's not just my achievement. It's the achievement of all those who are involved in the ministry. First, of course, I was not the supervising minister. I just started a ministry. Then later on, Pastor Maneng came, and then those who attended our Metro Manila Training Center, since they are required to teach, and they were assigned in some places when they started to have a Bible study, and it turned out to become a church. So all of those who came to Manila, contributed to that school. And not only that, even from outside Metro Manila, they were encouraged, so some of them are giving some amount, and even some of our missionaries. In fact, the road, we hire a bulldozer to have that road going down. That was given to us by Pastor Watkins. But most of the time, as mentioned by Pastor Dan in his history of IGBI, it was done through the work of pastors in Clag. So the Lord used many of us. So it's not my achievement, but it was an achievement of Clag. Also very instrumental in having that school because he was willing to stay there alone. We do not have a place where he can sleep. He just put all GI sets in one of the trees there and he slept inside. We do not have the building yet. And no support also. Those group that we have, they were so committed that when we say, this will be your assignment, no one will refuse. That's why when Pastor Anderson went there, visited us, I was still single, and Pastor Anderson told us, Dan should have a wife. It's very hard for him to be alone here. If you want to have, if you have to continue this Bible school, he has to have a wife. So we will pray that he will have a wife. So before he left, we prayed. And then I think the following day or the following week, Pastor Dan went to Baguio. If your heart is really for the ministry and you believe that the Lord has called you to that particular ministry of teaching, the Lord will always provide. I really believe that. So that's our principle, that the Lord will always provide. You only have to really believe on what He said. What the Lord said, that He will provide. He may not provide you with luxurious things, but He will always provide. And the Lord never failed us. You have to believe that the Lord has given you a gift. And you have to be very sure that that gift is given to you and you enjoy doing it. Like for example, if your gift is teaching, then make a commitment that you will always be teaching. If your gift is you would be able to earn more money by doing something and it will be used for the ministry, then do it. You do not need to become a pastor. You do not need to become as long as you are convinced that this is a ministry. Because if you continue giving, that's also a ministry. But if you only give a very small amount, that cannot be considered as a ministry. But if you believe, because the Lord has given you a gift of being able to earn more money for the ministry, then do it also. But since you're in a Bible school, I believe that the Lord has called you to become workers, no? Full-time workers. And if you believe that, then all other things will just be given to you. We should not even be thinking of having our house, having a car, or whatever. Because the Lord will give it to you if the Lord wants. Just do the work that you believe it is for the Lord. Just focus if you believe that you are really called to be on a full-time ministry. Then do it. Huwag nang mag-focus sa ibang mga bagay. Kasi hindi yung kasama doon sa calling mo. Sabi ni Apostol Pablo kay Timoteo, having food and raiment, therewith to be content. Sinabi niya yan sa mga pastor. Kasi tayo, as members ng Body of Christ, as pastor, special tong calling natin. But you really have to believe that you are called to do that. And you will be happy to do it.